Level 1. The Bright Academic. You are the top medical student of your class. In your eyes, the human body is a biological masterpiece to be protected. You dream of finding a cure for tuberculosis or the plague. You want your name etched in history as a savior of humanity. Then, a man in a pristine military uniform knocks on your laboratory door. He doesn't speak of patients, he speaks of the empire. He speaks of how science is the only way for Japan to dominate the world. He offers unlimited research funding, something no university could ever provide. You see this as a golden ticket to the peak of your career. You bow deeply, accept the military badge, and without realizing it, you have just surrendered your conscience to the state. Level 2. The Recruit. The journey north feels eternal. The lush greenery of Kyoto transforms into the silent, deadly snowscapes of Manchuria. You arrive in Pingfang, near the city of Harbin. There stands a secret complex spanning 6 square kilometers, surrounded by high walls and barbed wire. You are no longer Dr. Kenji. You are Lieutenant Kenji of Unit 731. Your commander, Lieutenant General Shiro Ishii, welcomes you with a speech that will alter your perspective forever. Pointing toward cattle cars filled with prisoners of war, he says, "They are no longer human. They are Maruta, logs. Do not waste your tears on wood. Use them up for the sake of science." Here, your name is lost, and empathy is a weakness punishable by death. Level 3. The Observer. Your first task is field observation. You are taken to an open courtyard in the biting midwinter, -40 degrees Celsius. You see a woman tied to an iron stake. She is a Maruta. Your task is simple. Record how long it takes for frostbite to destroy her skin tissue. Every hour, you go out and strike the woman's arm with a wooden stick. If the sound resembles dry wood being tapped, the final stage has been reached. You watch as her fingers turn black and snap off like tree twigs. Your hand trembles as you take notes, but the senior officer beside you merely yawns while smoking. You learn to numb the pain in your heart so you can keep your pen steady. Level 4. The Apprentice. The year is 1934. You begin to hold the scalpel. However, this is not surgery to save a life. You are assigned to a vivisection session. The rule is absolute. Organs must be harvested while the subject is still alive and without anesthesia. Why? Because Shiro Ishii believes that anesthesia ruins research data and alters the chemical state of the organs. You hear screams you will never forget. The sound of a human being split open alive. You see still beating lungs pulled from an open chest. You try not to look into the subject's eyes. You convince yourself, this is not a human. This is just laboratory material. At the end of the day, you wash the blood from your hands, but you realize that the smell of iron will never truly leave your skin. Level 5. The Pathologist. You are promoted. You now have access to the secret biological labs in Block RO. Your task is to create a modern version of the Black Death. You breed millions of fleas in glass jars and infect them with the plague bacteria, Yersinia pestis. Every day, you inject various pathogens into the bodies of healthy Maruta. You record how their bodies rot from within, how their lymph nodes swell and turn black. You no longer see them as individuals. They are merely walking incubators. You begin to feel like an architect designing the structure of destruction. Level 6. The Field Operative. Science requires proof in the real world. You are ordered to join a secret flight mission over Zhejiang and Hunan provinces. From inside the bomber, you do not drop explosives. You drop special ceramic bombs called Uji-go. Inside are thousands of plague-infected fleas mixed with grain and cotton to keep them alive upon impact. Weeks later, you descend into those villages dressed as an epidemic prevention unit. You see the results of your handiwork. Entire villages are infected. People lie dead in the streets, their faces turned blue. You take blood samples from dying children to bring back to the lab. You feel pride. Your weapon worked perfectly. You have become a technocrat of death. Level 7. The Section Chief. The year is 1940. You are now a senior researcher, head of the pathology division. You have dozens of assistants to do the dirty work for you. You spend your days in a comfortable office, reviewing reports and designing even more cruel experiments, such as poison gas testing or exposing humans to high-dose X-rays. Death is now just numbers on your desk. Your reports are sent directly to Tokyo, read by military high command with great admiration. You are a hero in the shadows. You hold absolute power over the life and death of thousands within the Pingfang complex. You have forgotten what it feels like to be a real doctor. Level 8, the Inner Circle. You are invited to a private late-night meeting with Shiro Ishii. There, you are chosen to be part of the Inner Circle planning Operation Cherry Blossoms at Night, a mad plan to attack California using kamikaze planes carrying biological bombs. At this level, you realize that the ultimate goal of Unit 731 is not just to win the war, but to dominate the world order through biological terror. You see yourself as a pioneer of the future. Morality is an obsolete past. Efficiency is your new god. You feel untouched by any human law. Level 9. The Collapse. August 1945. The world you built collapses instantly. Atomic bombs fall on Hiroshima, and the Soviet Red Army begins to invade Manchuria. The order from Tokyo is brief and brutal. Eliminate all traces of Unit 731's existence. You are ordered to execute the 400 remaining Maruta in their cells using poison gas. You watch as the magnificent laboratory buildings are leveled with dynamite. You burn thousands of microscope slides and 13 years of research documents in a massive bonfire. The black smoke from documents and corpses merges in the sky. You realize that if you are caught, you will hang as the most heinous war criminal in history. Level 10. The Eternal Servant. You are in the last train car heading to Busan to cross back to Japan. You stare at your hands, clean of blood but shaking violently. You think of fleeing to America, handing over your data, and starting a new life as a free man. However, at the carriage door, a high-ranking military officer from a hardline faction stands waiting for you. He hands you an envelope containing a new identity, but his eyes are cold. He whispers directly into your ear, "Dr. Sato, you can never leave this work. The knowledge in your head belongs to the Japanese military forever. If you try to speak to the enemy, or if you try to stop being our doctor, we will ensure your family ends up on the operating table just like the Maruta you used to dissect. You survived the war, but you never truly went home. You spend the rest of your life in Japan, working in a secret pharmaceutical lab under military surveillance. Every time you close your eyes, you see the nameless faces of Pingfang. You are physically free, but your soul remains locked in Unit 731 until your very last breath.